Hiya, Ollie here again. Didn't actually tell you my name in the first vid, so that's rather rude of me. Back in my car now. Actually, what I'll do, just to show off a little bit, is I'll open the hood up. Oh. Drop the top if I can remember how to do it. Windows go down, boot comes up. This car didn't cost me a lot of money. I got it from Andrew Richards Car Sales and Tiptree. Shout out to them. Tiptree in Essex. Really nice guys to deal with. There we go. It's a bit brighter now. Now, think about putting my GoPro here, not for dash cam purposes. I like watching dash cams, but I think if I had one I'd play the policeman a bit too much, if you know what I mean. I'd follow people just to see if they're naughty, and I'm no better than anyone else, so I don't know what that would prove. I'll turn the engine off. There we go. I'll try and mount it here. That flat one looks quite good. I can't think what else I'd use the curved one for, in truthfulness, so it's got a slight, it'd be nice if I could fix it this way, because it's got a curve on it that way. But don't know, what do you think? Am I saving this for nothing? I mean, I don't know whether I'll actually use it. But I've got a nice big tripod that I used to use me with a larger camcorder and stills photography and that lot, and I might use this little piece to try and fix it to my quick release on my tripod, if you know what I mean. So I'd like to save that one. I did actually notice, really, if you're going to be really cheap, and I might use this even, the packaging that it's mounted on in the box when you buy it, if you just pull that off and keep that's quite a good mount. That's you know, a solid bit of plastic, that. So that's, I might cut that out and see if I can fit that in the quick release on top of my tripod. Perhaps I'll do a video of that so you can see whether that's possible. So I'm going to try with this one, and if it doesn't work, you know, we haven't lost a lot. So I'll get some methylated spirits out of the boot and just wipe off any polish that's on there. That'll give it a bit of a chance. Alright. Couldn't find any meths. I don't think I've drunk it. So got a bit of white spirit though, so I'll be a bit sparing of that because it does stink a bit. So the old camera there. Got a bit of the ubiquitous blue tissue that you can buy in Screw Fix and B&Q and places like that, and I'll just, because when they sell you cars like this and when you detail them inside, it's invariably a sort of a silicone-y type thing that they use. You want to try and wipe that off if you can. It's actually quite dirty. Look at that, what a pig. What a pig I am. Let's give it a good wipe now. That'll give it a chance to work. Get that back on there. And let's see if I can get this curved one to stick on there. I noticed earlier when I went on my walk around the river, it's the first time I'd ever used the GoPro with this housing on. I kept this housing on, I didn't have this bit on, but I kept the housing on, and there was quite a lot of handling noise of me sort of like holding it, so I think I will invest in a tiny little handle type thing perhaps, but I don't want to buy too much gear, and I don't really want a chest harness or anything like that for doing it, because I just want to be able to chuck this in my pocket. I mean, the whole idea of this is it's lovely and small, and the more accessories you bung on, it's more to remember. It's just more to have in your pocket. I'll try and centre it up, so excuse me if my head's in the way. But I use the front bit of the trim there to make sure it's fairly square. That looks fairly decent. That feels fairly solid to me. says allow 24 hours for the adhesive to dry, but it's a really warm day and the adhesive's warm. I mean, if you're doing this in winter, I think I'd probably run a hairdryer over that, or I have the heater on so the dashboard heats up a little bit, just to aid the adhesion, as it were. And I'll pick you up and pop you in there and see how you get on. I'm going to go to Saxmundham. Tesco's actually in Saxmundham, so it's not a fantastic drive all the way, but there's one or two rather interesting bits, so I'll pop this on and off en route and get back and view the footage, and if it's any good you'll see this, and if it isn't you will never see me saying you won't see it, so I don't know why I've said that. Anyway, off we go. Just popping the white spirit and the blue paper back in my van, but I'll show you the back of my works van. I thought this would amuse you. It's not overweight, but there's a lot of gear in there, and I'm going to have a tidy up here. I mean, I've been using this MIG welder during the week, and I've got a concrete breaker there, and I don't often use all this gear, so I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up at some point. But if you're a multi-discipline sort of building maintenance type guy like I am, you do use a lot of kit. You need shovels and brooms to tidy up and step ladders and I don't know what. So anyway, it tests the low light capability, and it's quite dark in the back of here, but yeah, you can see everything. Gaffer tape. Where would we be without gaffer tape? And squirty glue. Anyway, I'm going to pop you in the dashboard and we'll see how we get on. Well, there we go, folks. Start the car up. I'm going to put the roof back up, actually, excuse the bibbing or the peeping. Just put the roof back up and then we won't get quite so much wind noise. Not that I'm going to be saying a lot. There we go, you hear the clunk. It's angled up fairly, otherwise you just see loads and loads of the front of the dashboard, but I don't want to get it any higher, otherwise it's going to be my field of view, and I don't want it any further forward because otherwise my little arms won't reach. So we'll pull out of here and just see how we get on. I've got my lights on auto, my headlights are on auto. I leave them on auto all the while, and the car seems to know when to turn them on, so I let the car decide. You'll notice I'm not exactly a rally driver. I'll tell you what, we'll go up this little lane first. In fact, earlier when I was walking down the river, I said there wouldn't be irrigating sugar beet, but that is beet on the left, and on the right, big field of potatoes. So that shows what I know about farming. It's been years since I ever worked on a farm. I really enjoyed working on a farm when I did, though. It's hard work this time of year, but it's very rewarding. I'll just turn left here and we'll pop up this little lane. Out the way, Peach. Farmer's water's all going down the lane here. We'll just pop up this little lane. Now, I'll turn it back on and off sort of at various points. You'll hear, actually, I've bought an automatic car. I drove all the way down to Andrew Richards car sales again, give him another plug, in Tiptree, because I saw this little convertible Peugeot 207 there and I thought that's a nice little car, and it's the best thing I could see on Auto Trader. I didn't really want to spend more than about £3,000. I spent a little bit more than that. I haven't got a lot of money, so I drained my rainy day fund because the rainy day came. I took out a little loan because bank rates are really low at the moment. So, but I didn't want to put myself in too much debt, so I didn't want to spend too much. And when I got down there, I realised it's automatic. And you know what? I'm glad I did get an automatic, really, because I get fed up changing gear all the while in my van. It's a good van, my Transit, and nothing wrong with it. I'm going to head into the sun a little bit now, so I don't know how the GoPro will deal with this. It'll be a bit of a test of it. now we're tilted up a bit, you can just appreciate what a big sky we have in Suffolk. Isn't that lovely? I hope the engine noise and the road noise isn't too distracting. I could put on some Pink Floyd. I've got it in my CD player at the moment, but I don't think I will, because I think YouTube will probably kick that off, copyright reasons and all that. Give it a bit of a squirt. The sun will soon go down. I'm going to concentrate what I'm doing on this junction, because people fly along this road. Not because they're bad drivers, it's just quite a straight road out of the village, so I'll be a bit careful and concentrate on what I'm doing for a second here. I think we'll just go under these trees here, and I'll turn it off, and I'll turn it back on just a few miles up the road where it gets a bit more twisty. Well, there's a bit of a straight bit of road here, but I turned it back on because I want to say goodbye to the sun. Don't know whether we'll see it anymore, actually. It's disappearing behind those trees, but it's quite a twisty bit of road up here. It's got a very, well, I wouldn't say very, I wondered whether to buy this camera or buy one of the Nikons, the 170, whatever it's called. But that had a very, very wide angle lens on it. You got a lot of bendy bits. I think the GoPro's a good compromise, although the Nikon, or Nikon, however you pronounce it, had, you know, a good quality picture, although I think the GoPro was slightly, the colours were slightly more saturated. It's actually quite low light now, but it's got a wide enough field of view that I'm doing, what, 45 actually, and it probably looks quite quick, and because it's an automatic car I'm in, hear that? They were bibbing me because there's a couple of pheasants there, but they look mangy old things. I thought they were partridges for a moment because they don't look like the normal colour for a pheasant, but they look a bit drunk. But thanks to that driver there for pipping at me. So that's good driving, that is. Well done to them. Either that or I've just pulled and didn't realise it, although that's doubtful. Anyway, off we go. I'm doing about 50 now, and it probably looks fairly quick, but that's a wide angle lens for you. Driving along past Icon now, on the way through to Snake. My lights have just come on. Mustang. That's a good little drive, this. You're seeing all sorts of things. I'll turn this off again in a second because the road's quite boring, and just for a little while. But, you know, I should have left it running because it's about literally 10 seconds after I turned it off, and there's the sun. I don't want to get all zen with you and, you know, new agey, but I mean, look at that. And when you consider what the sun is, it just doesn't, it never ceases to amaze me that that's just a massive nuclear reaction 8 light minutes away. And all the life on this earth, everything we have depends on that one star. It's amazing, really. You don't get very good sunsets when you haven't got clouds, so it's another clear day, so at least you get to see the sun in its entirety. It's a nasty little junction here. In my van I I go a little bit to the left there, so here's a car coming. Because you can take it a bit squarer. It's one of those triangle affairs here, so if you turn off left beforehand, you can come really square on. It's a nasty little junction. Anyway, this is Snape Maltings. Got all the shops and everything there, and apartments and everything. Behind that you've got the Snape Maltings concert hall. There's the Plough pub. Had many a good drink in there. The Plough and Sale. We go over the river here. I'm going to slow up a bit because there's a speed sign here. I don't want to embarrass myself by going above the speed limit. I think it might turn off at night. It's not flashing, so I've been a good boy there. There's another pub. We like our pubs around here. Adnams pub, good Adnams ale in there. The Crown Inn. Do good food in there as well. I seem to remember they'd done the catering at my elder sister's wedding a few years ago. That was very nice. Up the top of the hill. Snape Village. My goodness me, it's all happening in Snape tonight. The throngs of people. There you go, that's what I like about the countryside. Bit of peace and quiet. I've lived in towns and they're good as well. Every place has got its pros and its cons. I'll leave the camera running for a minute, might as well. Up to Snape Church. That's very exciting. She's got white dungarees on, that lady, and when I saw her in the distance I thought she was a painter and decorator, because they always wear white sort of overalls, don't they? I don't know why. Black would be preferable really, but perhaps if you're using lots of white emulsion, perhaps you use more white if you're a painter and decorator. Yeah, you do really. You do tend to use more white and magnolia. Especially if you're doing contract work. I've done lots of rental properties in my time actually, and all you ever see is white and magnolia, white and magnolia. I might pull into a side road up here just so you can have another shot of the sun. I think the bend in the road might not pick it up. Power cables. They're coming from Sizewell nuclear power station, just up the road. All that power flowing through them. I'd like to go up a pylon. I don't advise anyone do it. I mean, I'd like to do that job for a bit, although I dare say in the winter time it's not quite so romantic. There's a little road to the left here, so I'll pull into it. Might be able to see the sun just as it disappears. Might be some trees in the way. Tell you what, these crops are nearly ready to come in by the looks of it. A lot of wild oats in that field though, see them sticking up higher than the crop. Just pull in here. I don't know why I'm indicating, there's no one around. And that's nice, look. An irrigator again. It's the theme of the day, irrigation. There's the sun. It's done its job for the day. Find somewhere to turn around now. Don't really want to actually, because that's pretty. But I want to get to Tesco's. It's just gone 9 o'clock and Tesco's and Saxmundham closes at 10. See if we can see the sun through this gap in the trees. There, look at that. I know it's a wide angle lens, so it probably looks like a little dot, but it's still beautiful. There's a field of peas there. I love peas. Wonder if I can turn around here. Ought to be able to. I've been driving enough years. There we go. Well, I'm in two minds really. I don't know whether to turn the camera off now and start it again. I think I'll start it up the road in a little way. Here we are then, about a mile up the road. Just thought I'd edit it a bit in camera. I can't be bothered to edit too much on my PC. So we're nearly at Saxmundham. There's the speed limit sign. Go as fast as I want now. Oh, 50 miles an hour, my goodness me. Can man live at these speeds? But I think I'll keep the camera on now till we get to Tesco's car park so you can appreciate the high life of Suffolk. Sir. No problem, mate. Sometimes I'm not a very good driver, and then other times I'm as considerate as I can be, and it makes you feel good, doesn't it? It doesn't hurt you to let people out. Sound a bit preachy, don't it? Catch me on a bad day and you'll see otherwise. Here we go anyway. It was a bit of a thing when Tesco's arrived in Saxmundham. You know, they'd only ever had small little shops, and here was a big supermarket chain. And I know bigger isn't always better. Diversity is a good thing, but we all come here and we all shop here because, well, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday night and they're open. Park over here out the way. Perhaps we've got time to dip to Aldeburgh on the way home. That'd be nice. Anyway, see you in a minute. This car does like beeping at you, but there you go. A swig of water. I bought some San Pellegrino, really nice, a little bit like bicarbonate of soda. It's getting quite dark now, so I don't think we'll do a return journey from Aldeburgh, but perhaps I'll drive out that way. I'll turn the camera off for a minute or two and we'll drive out that way, and if there's anything worth filming, the light's still there when we get there, then I shall film. If not, this might be the end of our journey. There's Waitrose there. You can buy anything in Saxmundham. Anyway, I'll turn this off for a minute. Well, here we are, we're in Aldeburgh. There's lots of hooting going on tonight, it's brilliant. The pub looks pretty, doesn't it? It's getting not dark, but it's coming up to dusk. It's nearly 9:30. The GoPro's doing quite well. I mean, it's tilted up at the sky, which doesn't really help things. It's doing quite well. Coming up to the church here. I'll wind my window up, actually. Wind it up. Oh my goodness me, you can tell how old I am. Don't wind windows anymore, Ollie. There's the church. Last resting place of Benjamin Britten. And his assistant stroke secretary, can't remember her name, I think it was Elizabeth, who is I believe Gustav Holst's daughter. Something like that anyway. It's a good story even if I've got it wrong. Just see the sea over there. We'll turn right here and go up the main street. Aldeburgh Cinema. They had Stanley Kubrick's 2001 during the week there, 'cause it's 50 years since that was out. Didn't get a chance to go and see it. Weren't really feeling up to it, which is a pity really, because I think it's my second favourite film. Actually, it looks quite pretty at this time of night. I don't know how it's coming out on the camera, but it's a good time of night to film, especially on a harsh sunlit day like we've had today. Everyone's going up the pub. It's quite a touristy little town. So I'll here we go. I'll wind the window down again. Just so you can hear the seagulls if they start up. Now earlier walk today, my first go at GoProing. I showed you I was the other side to this island, really. This is the start of Orford Island. This part of Aldeburgh, it's called Slawden. It's very bumpy here, so I'll go quite slow. I think they're going to feel some bumps in. There's a big heap of aggregate there. This is the other side of the river, really. It's where the big shingle spit, which is Orford Island, starts. My keys are jangling about, sorry about that. I'll hold on to them. It's not a true island because, as you can see here, this is the start of it. It's actually connected to the land, but it becomes an island in all but, like I say, all but name, but that is what it's called. You know what I mean. There's the sea, the North Sea. Oh my goodness me, that's bumpy. There's the North Sea, looks a bit grey. Still cold this time of the year. Well, it's cold most of the year, but have a bit of a swim there perhaps later in the year. There's a Martello Tower up there at the end. I'll slowly turn round. And that's the river, and that's the other bank on the other side where I was walking earlier. That's more sort of Sudburn way, that there, but if you go to the left, you hit Alford. Still some activity. It's a gorgeous evening, isn't it? I'll turn around and we'll go back through the town, and then I'll turn this off. Can't quite see it today, but later on when it gets darker you can see Mendlesham antennae over in the distance. It must be a good 25 miles away, but it's 1,000 feet high. It's a biggie. Seagull hammer. Such great flyers, seagulls, aren't they? The screen on the GoPro's turned itself off, obviously to save a bit of battery. I've really set it up like that, but I've got no idea how well this is coming out. Some crops come in. I think they're making hay actually. Jangling again. It's very expensive property in Aldeburgh, so I don't think I'll ever live here. There we go, that's smoother. Street lights coming on. It's a nice time in the evening. Car coming the other way. I'll put my foot down, see if we get to the end of this bit. Oh yeah, they're miles away. White Hart Inn, doing good trade. Seagulls wheeling around. Seagulls fly around all time of day and night. You'll come down here in the middle of the night and they're still flying around. I don't know when they sleep. I think it's time to say goodbye to you actually. Not much more to show you today. Back past the cinema. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. We saw a few things, didn't we? Cheers.